This week on The Watchman, we are in the mountains of Jerusalem. 2,500 years ago, the people of Israel worked these vineyards. And guess what? Today they are back and they are working them once again. We are at the world-famous Psagot Winery, and Sagot's founder, Yaakov Berg, is going to tell us how these beautiful vineyards are fulfilling Bible prophecy. You won't want to miss it. It's The Watchman. It's Christians United for Israel, only right here on TBN. Tell us about where we're going.
Yes, this is the winery. You know, it's a bit so big now, but the truth, we start with 3,000 bottles. Today we're making about 300,000.
300,000.
About 100 times more. Yeah, but 13 years ago, we started the winery, only 3,000 bottles. It was for hobby. I never thought that it's going to be like a winery like today.
300,000 bottles now. Amazing. And you're winning international competitions around the world, and incredible things are happening.
Yeah, and you know, when we start, I remember that all the experts say winery, wine in Israel, and especially in your location, it's not going to happen. You're wasting your time. 2004, we sent our first wine to a wine competition in France, Vineyards in Paris, and we got a gold medal.
And this was early on. This is only after you guys were open for about a year.
Some people call it magic, but I really believe that it's such a thing. Because if you ask me, Yaakov, what is the special thing you're doing here? I mean, what's the difference between your winemaking to, I don't know, winemaking in Paris, in France, in Napa Valley, whatever? And the truth, it's not high-tech. I'm not doing anything special. But we believe that we have a blessing here. For 2,000 years, those lands have been empty, with no grapes, actually nobody. So this is unbelievable.
Yeah, you're in God's land on the mountains of Israel, and He is blessing your work here at Psagot Winery, Yaakov. So, man, what do we have here? This is my first time actually touring a winery, so this is exciting.
In the beginning, we have the grapes. You know, we're starting in Israel, the harvest time, it's about August, September. We're getting the grapes, and we start the fermentation process. The fermentation process happens in those stainless steel tanks. Okay, it's stainless steel tanks. We can control the temperature, we can control everything, and so this is the beginning.
So what do we have out here?
This is also a stainless steel tanks that we keep the wine only in the fermentation process, and when we want to make the blends, to blend the wine, to make the final type of wine, if we have Cabernet Sauvignon, if you have Merlot, all our wines staying in oak barrels for a year and a half. And let's go and take a look on the barrel room.
It amazes me, Yaakov, that this started for you as a hobby. How did you learn all the technical aspects of how to make wine?
If I will tell you, I need to kill you.
Yeah.
Eric, so, you know, it's
you can't reveal your secrets.
Exactly. But you're welcome. So welcome to our barrel room.
Wow.
Here we have about 400 barrels. Everything it's oak, made in France. I start with 6 or 7 barrels. Now we have more than 400, yes. And it stays for between a year to a year and a half.
Okay. And 300,000 per year, Yaakov, are going out.
Yeah.
Wow, how amazing is that? So what goes into this? I mean, basically you store the barrels here. You have to have humidity in here as well, and there's certain temperature,
Yes.
I guess.
We have certain temperature and humidity and a lot of different stuff. And of course, we're tasting the wine. We see how it develops in the barrels, if there is any problem, if we need to do something. So yes, this is the whole job to know how to treat the wine. Exactly.
Tell me about your team here, Yaakov. How big is your team here at Psagot Winery?
First of all, we have the harvest. We need the grapes, the material. So in the harvest time, it's unbelievable. But in the last 10 years already, we have a group of Christians from all over the world, mainly from United States, Canada, but from all over the world, and that they're coming to Israel, about 400. They're volunteering. They don't accept from us anything. They say, we don't want, nothing. We come with everything. They supply themselves with everything, and they want only to touch the land, to do something. This is unbelievable. And I must say that I think the most interesting thing in wine that I found out is that wine can connect people together. Because if you think about it, what is the chance that in a winery in Israel, here where we're located some people call it West Bank.
This is illegally occupied.
We will have Christians coming from far away from here. They're leaving everything, they're leaving their job, and they want to participate, they want to touch the land, they want to do something for the land, for Israel, and this is unbelievable. For me, it's every time that I see it, I don't believe that it really exists.
Yeah, this is not by coincidence, and only the God of Israel, Yaakov, could make this happen, and he's using wine to do it. Pretty amazing thing.
I think that if you will ask my parents, not far away, just if they believe that their son are going to own a winery and a vineyard in Israel, they will never believe you. Because I born in Russia, I came to Israel when I was 3 years old. We need to wait 6 years until the Russians, in these days, the KGB let us leave the country. And we came with nothing. Soviet Union. We came with nothing. We came with our pens and that's it. We couldn't, take anything from there. So really, if you ask my parents, do you believe that your son? They will never believe. From one side, my grandparents came from the Holocaust, from the other side, from Russia. So, many people asking me, Yaakov, it's not difficult. Is it complicated? Is it, we heard about Israel, and I'm asking, this is complicated? This is difficult? I think we have really the best life that we can ever imagine and ask for.
In your ancestral homeland?
Yes.
Doesn't get much better.
No doubt. The whole idea is to keep the wine, natural and for a long time. Yeah. So we put some gas to avoid the oxidant. Okay. And we put the wine, we put the cork. And from here, depends when, but we can put the labels also, and it will be ready for shipping.
And the guys are working hard here, by the way. We appreciate them letting us film. They're working hard. They're serious. It's a serious business.
But because it's a boutique winery, so we don't do it every day.
Oh, you don't do it every day?
No, we do it 4, 5, 8 weeks in a year, the bottling, and that's it. So, wow. Yes.
So we're coming at a very crucial season for you, for Psagot Winery. Yes. Wow, and these bottles will go out not only here in Israel, but...
No. Mainly our main market, it's United States.
Main market's United States?
Yeah, main market's United States. About 50% of our production is for the United States.
How do you get the word out? We're going to get the word out here on the Watchman. How do you get the word out? How are all these people in the United States discovering your great wines?
First of all, in wine, people looking for something new, for something that never heard about. Right. So this is very important part. And second, I think now people want to be connected to Israel. Wine in the Bible, we believe that wine is a very spiritual thing. But we're going to talk about it in the vineyards.
We will. Let's do it. This is a taste of Israel for every American. It's a great thing. Let's go, Yaakov.
Coming up, the Bible comes to life as we go inside a 2,500-year-old cave that is once again in use at Psagot Winery. Don't move.
With over 3.5 million members, Christians United for Israel is the largest pro-Israel organization in America. And for Zion's sake, we will not remain silent. We won't stand for the lies and political attacks that threaten Israel's safety and the future of the Jewish people in their God-given homeland. We want you to join us in this sacred movement.
The Jewish people are not alone. Christians United for Israel, I want to thank you for standing up for Israel. I want to thank you for standing up and being counted. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Israel needs you to take a stand. Join Christians United for Israel. Make your voice heard and be remembered as a defender of Israel, the apple of God's eye.
So you're going to show us something today really fascinating, the caves.
Yeah.
We're going to go underground here.
We're going to go underground and we're going to see, I mean, people ask sometimes why you came here, what is your background? And so we're going to see a little bit our background. We're going to see a cave from the days of the Second Temple, 2,500 years ago. And it's an ancient winery.
Yeah, let's do it.
When we decided to deal with wine, to make wine, to open a winery, we found that cave. Actually by mistake, I will show you. And then we decided, you know, if really our grandparents make wine here, we should do the same. Now we're going under the vineyards and we're going to see the roots of the vineyards, you know, from underground. It's very important to understand the quality of the wine.
And how old is the place we're going right now?
2,500 years ago.
Is that all?
That's it.
Only in Israel?
You know, I remember when I've been in Napa Valley, and a guy took me to show me something, very famous winery. I walked with him for hours, whatever. It was hot. And then he stand up in the middle of his vineyard and he says, Yaakov, listen, here, 200 years ago, the guy. So I stopped him and I says, John, can you say it again, please? So he says, yes, here, 200 years ago. I says, listen, if you come to our place in Israel, it's 2,000 years ago. 200 years ago, it's in our time. I mean, it's not.
That's right.
But this is, yeah.
The Jewish people's presence in this land goes way, way back, Yaakov.
Okay, Eric, so we're going to the cave. You know, this is a Jewish cave. It's not American cave. So it's not for your eye. So be careful when you go out, okay? Be careful, put your hand here.
Yaakov, your forefathers were in these caves storing wine. And now, 2,500 years later, you're back. You're doing it again.
When we found the cave, it was full with mud, almost up to here. We didn't see it's a cave. We just make the road above us, and we hit something, and we saw, you know, a hole in the ground, but not more than that. Then we decided to dig and to see maybe we'll find here something. So it was a serious thing. We need to dig here for more than a month with, you know, spoons and buckets. Wow. And this is what we found. And we found here a lot of stuff. First of all, take a look. We found that one. This is an ancient wine press. Do you see the hole here? Yeah. There is a hole here and one hole just above us. They used to put an axle, lift up a stone, put the grapes, put the stone, and all the wine will go down here to this place, to this hole. I hope it was a little bit cleaner than today, and to keep the wine here.
2,500 years ago.
2,500 years ago.
Ancient Israel, biblical Israel.
You know, if you saw the ancient coin that we stick on each of our bottles?
Yeah.
This is an ancient coin from the days of the Second Temple. It's sitting here. Here it's amphora. Amphora, it's an ancient wine bottle. Before the time of the glass, they put it in amphora. And it's written here for the freedom of Zion, because it's made in the Great Revolution against the Romans. 67 AC.
Yes.
67. And exactly 2,000 years later, we came back to our homeland. That's exactly right. 2,000 years later. So we found that coin here, really here, in that cave. A couple of them. We found pots because they used to make wine here. And so this is amphora, they used to put wine here, and the other side of the coin, it's a wine leaf. Why? Because, you know, what the Romans usually used to put on their coins. You remember, Eric?
The emperor.
Exactly, the face of the emperor, the face of the Caesar. If you really like his wife, maybe he put his wife too, but usually only himself.
Yeah.
Ego.
Yes.
Jewish people always, they put only something that symbolize something. And we believe that wine symbolize spirit, symbolize a lot of very important things in life. You see here, this is the wine roots. You see the wine roots?
Yeah.
From the vines from outside,
all over
over.
this cave. They're
Take
everywhere.
a look, everywhere, all over. This is a limestone rock. So the roots can go into the rock and find the minerals and the water, and because of that our wine is, you know, so good and so tasty.
That's why Psagot Winery.
But it's not only that. We believe that, you know, only vines can do it. Only the vine's roots can go so far. They're going about 90 feet long from the winery to find, you know, something to eat, and we believe that this is represent also the nation of Israel, the state of Israel, because the Bible say many times, Israel, you know, the prophet call us vines, my vines. God say my vines. Why? This is one of the reasons, because the vines, the special thing in vines, it's the roots. When you look on the vines, it's look weak. It doesn't look, it's not a strong, it's not a tree actually. It's so, you know, it's small. You have much bigger trees. But those bigger trees, if a hurricane, if a storm came, those trees will be on the ground. Vines, never. They will be on the ground. Tomorrow morning they will, and I think this is, you know, our nation. Many times you come and say, you don't see any nation, you see nothing. You see, it's look dead. You came a generation later, and it's so powerful, it's so life, and this is vines, and this is wine.
Up next, we walk through the vineyards that have come back to life, just as the God of Israel promised. Stay tuned.
Israel is under attack. The Jewish people in Israel face terrorism, boycotts, and worldwide condemnation every day. While Israelis try to raise their children in peace, their enemies plot their destruction. Christians United for Israel is speaking out to defend Israel from these relentless attacks. CUFI works with Congress and the White House to ensure America has Israel's back. We are making Israel stronger and her people safer. Join Christians United for Israel as we stand up for Israel in Washington, D.C., in all 50 states, and on hundreds of college campuses. Show the people of Israel they are not alone. Join the largest pro-Israel movement in America when you sign the pledge to support Israel at www.kufi.org/decal. We'll send you this CUFI car decal as your free gift when you pledge to stand with us as we make Israel stronger and her people safer. Add your voice to the millions of Christians speaking out for Zion's sake.
When we stand here, and again 2,500 years ago, our grandparents make wine here. So to say that we have no connection to the land, to say that, I think it's ridiculous. And here Jews, you know, made a coin and it's written for the freedom of Zion. And yes, so we decided to put it in each of our wine bottles to say the same thing, because we know a lot of people coming and saying, hey, we're going to be against you, or whatever, BDS, don't buy from them.
Boycott, divest from, sanction Israel. Don't buy wine from Psagot Winery. They're illegal occupiers.
It's not a new idea. The Romans say the same thing. The Romans, of course, they disappeared from the world. We still remember their name. I promise you, those people from today that they say boycott, in 20 years from now, nobody will remember the name also.
Just like the Romans, the Babylonians, Haman, the Greeks, Pharaoh.
And he's talking about empires. And we're talking about empires. And not only that, think about it, for 2,000 years, those lands been desert. And everybody tried, all the nations, the Muslims, all the popes, they'll send the armies to conquer the land, and they try to settle the land. Nobody succeeds. You know, Mark Twain wrote his famous book about Israel 130 years ago. That's it. What is the bottom line of his book?
Israel, what became Israel, desolate, a wasteland,
Exactly.
barely anyone here.
Exactly,
Just
malaria,
foreign land.
disease.
Yeah.
He says, the Bible says milk and honey. I don't know what the Bible talk about.
He says, this is Jerusalem?
Jesus, exactly.
He couldn't believe it.
When we came here, 20 years, it was desert, it was rocks, nothing. And when you see, so I'm saying that it's not only, you know, everybody says the miracle is that we came back to our homeland. Yes, this is the great miracle, we came back to our homeland. But not only that, that land was waiting to her children to come back.
When you discovered this cave, incredible. What was going through your mind? And
We've been shocked. Naama and me, I remember we've been sitting here for a long time. And we say, what? This is what we found, and we didn't think that we're going to find it. So then we say, you know what? We are going to open a winery. Yeah. And we opened. In the beginning, we have 5 barrels here. We came now from the winery.
Your private stash is, right?
Here we start. Yeah, now we make here our best wine here.
Yeah.
We're just changing the wines, we're changing the barrels, but yes, here we're making our best wine also today.
Incredible. Yaakov, this is incredible. The Jewish people are back. And as you said, empire after empire, tyrant after tyrant has come through this land, occupied this land. They're all gone in the ash heap of history, but who remains? The Jewish people not only surviving, they are thriving in the land. And I don't see a Roman flag over Jerusalem. I see the Star of David over Jerusalem. It's a beautiful thing, and it never gets old. Yaakov, what an amazing time we've had here with you on the mountains of Jerusalem, Psagot Winery. Man, I think about it. We saw the cave, 2,500 years old. Your forefathers there. We're in the vineyards on the mountains of Israel, fulfilling prophecy. Look, the book of Amos talks about God Almighty says, I will bring you back. You will once again drink from the vineyards. How does this make you feel? This is your home. It's an incredible thing.
Many times we read the Bible and we think, I think for most of the people, and for many years, they read the Bible, it's a nice book, but they didn't see it. And I think that the fact that we can, with our own eyes, really to see it happening, you know, I cannot write it better than it's written in the Bible. Because those 3 steps that Hosea talk about it all the time. You know, Hosea says, first of all, I'll bring my people back to their homeland. We are here. I came from Russia. Everybody came from, Naama came from Yemen, whatever. Second, the land will come back to us. Take a look how it's flourishing, how it's unbelievable. And the third thing that not a lot of people think about, Hosea promised, Hosea says, the entire world will come and participate and will be part of it. And many people say, many Israelis says, no, they are world against us, people want to boycott, and that's not the truth. We know that in the United States, we have those people, volunteers, coming to help us every year. This is unbelievable. So to see it in our own eyes, I remember like a child, I was reading it, I didn't believe it, okay, God say, okay, so, a lot of things written in the Bible, but when you see it happening word by word, it's unbelievable. And
we live in Bible times today.
The best proof that God exists is the state of Israel, and specifically that land. Because we got a promise and it's happening. And I don't think you'll find a better proof than that.
Up next, my final thoughts on why the reborn Vineyards of Israel are so important for God's plan and for you. Stick around.
Long before he was the Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence was a friend to Christians United for Israel. Now, he's helping us make Israel stronger and her people safer.
Pastor John Hagee, I thank you for your leadership on behalf of this nation and the Jewish state of Israel. And today, through Christians United for Israel, more than 3.3 million believers raised their voices, have not been silent in support of Israel. And you can be heard in every city and town across America and in every office on Capitol Hill. And rest assured, the man down the street at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue hears you too. I have faith that with God's help, and with the men and women gathered here, the best days for Israel and for America are yet to come.
Don't miss next year's summit. Join the movement and register now for the 2018 CUFI Washington Summit.
And welcome back. Folks, what a great time we had at Psagot Winery with our good friend Yaakov Berg. We saw how prophecy is coming to life today in real time on the mountains of Israel. Just look at the book of Isaiah, which promises that the people of Israel will once again build houses and inhabit them. They will also plant vineyards and eat their fruit. Then there's Amos, chapter 9, verse 14, where God Almighty says, I will restore the captivity of my people Israel, and they will rebuild the ruined cities and live in them. They will also plant vineyards and drink their wine, and make gardens and eat their fruit. That's exactly what is happening today in the vineyards of Psagot Winery in these Bible times that we are living in. Now you see the information for Psagot Winery there on your screen. Even if you don't like wine or you don't drink at all, I encourage you to visit anyway to see the miracles that God is working in those vineyards. Believe me, you will appreciate it. And while you're at it, join our movement here at Christians United for Israel so we can keep bringing you the kinds of stories that you just won't see in the mainstream media. We are America's largest pro-Israel organization, and for Zion's sake, we will not remain silent. Well, thanks for joining us this week at the beautiful Psagot Winery on the mountains of Israel. Until next time, God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace.